G'day, Methodist Dave here, professional theologian and Bible teacher with our daily devotional for Monday, March 30th. We are at chapter 30 of the book of Proverbs. The words of Agur, another person, not Solomon, but was collected into this book and was considered that there's some interesting things in here. And I'm going to read you verse 4. Who has ascended into heaven and descended? Who has gathered up the winds in his hands? Who has bound up the waters in his cloak? Who has established the ends of the earth? What is his name? And what is his son's name? Surely you can know. The concept of the Trinity is found more clearly in the New Testament. There are more passages that allude to a Trinity. The Trinitarian doctrine is founded that Jesus is given the same authority and attention that God gets, that you would call no one good but God, and that people pray to Jesus and he receives worship and he forgives sins, and the Holy Spirit, you're not lying to man, you're lying to the Holy Spirit. You're not lying to man, you're lying to God. Whereas God and the Spirit are called the same thing at the same time. It's a comparison that we see clearly in the New Testament, but it's still there in the Old Testament in certain places. And here in this passage here mentions of God's Son. And if we go back into Genesis, and a lot of the Hebrew words that used to describe God are plural in nature, that it is God's plural when gods moved across the spirit of the earth. But then again, it says that God is one, so that God can be one entity, but revealed through three separate personalities, Father, Son, Spirit. And we try to illustrate this with weak illustrations like a rope, which is made of three cords, or water appearing in three forms: water, solid, liquid, solid, and gas, being a husband, a father, and also a son, so that I can be three things at the same time. And none of these are good illustrations for the Trinity. They all focus on a heresy of modalism or partialism or Arianism, things like that are not true. The problem is that there is nothing like God. God is so unique that there is nothing in this universe that exists that is like God. So we have nothing to compare God to. God is completely different from anything that we know. And any illustration that we try to use falls flat. But it is in the Old Testament. Now, this verse won't bring you joy, comfort, peace in your daily life, like some of the other Proverbs will. Not every verse in the Bible is edifying. Some of it is just dull fact. But read the whole chapter, and you'll find more advice, things that will help you in your life. I encourage you every day, read the chapter for the day. When you take the whole passage in its totality, it will have more of an impact than these single verses that we look at on a daily basis. So that's your challenge. That's your work to do. Mine is to talk about that verse by verse as we go through this. If you've got a question about this or any subject, drop me an email, methodistdave@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer your question. And I challenge you to find me a question that I can't answer. Let's see if you can do it. Who's going to be the first one? Please hit the like, share, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, please be good to one another.